Hey everybody, it's Benita here with Be Delighted Creations and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making this fun DIY carrot door hanger, perfect for Easter to hang on your door. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking the link below. And you can also find me on bedelightedcreations.com. So we're going to be starting out with two of those candy cane wire frames that you get at the Dollar Tree. You get them during Christmas season. And I'm going to be putting them together and zip tying them. So you put kind of one opposite of each other, and then I'm going to be using some zip ties. I like to use the really small zip ties, and then just zip tie them in any area where it seems like they may be loose. So you want it to be very well secure. So for this project, you're going to be needing, of course, you're going to be needing those two wire frames from the Dollar Tree. You're going to be needing zip ties, and I have some different sizes. I even have some in colors, and I'll leave the link, the Amazon link for those. I bought them on Amazon. You're going to be needing some mesh or burlap. This is the orange burlap. You can find it at Hobby Lobby or Walmart. And of course you're going to be needing some wire cutters and some fun flowers or greenery and ribbon to make a bow. So I'm going to start off with this burlap, and I just zip tied it at the beginning just so that it's secure, and added a little bit of glue. Now you want to be careful with the glue because it can show through, so if you do add too much glue, it will show through. So I'm going to start wrapping it and just adding glue in certain areas to keep it in place. And you want to try and add the glue on one side so that you can designate which one is going to be your showing side. So you don't want glue showing on both sides. So you want to, just when you wrap it and add glue, add it to one side. And so here I'm wrapping it, and then I'm going to start to actually fold that burlap in half. You kind of have to maneuver the mesh or the burlap and fold it in half so that it's not as wide, so that it doesn't leave any large gaps or wrinkles. And so here I'm just adding glue just to keep it in place in certain areas, and then I'm going to start folding that burlap in half. And you could actually start with it by folding it in half. It will probably be better, but I didn't do that. And so as you can see, when I turn and add glue, I'm adding it just to the one side. So that side of where the glue is added is going to be your back, because if any glue is showing through, well, you won't see it. And so just keep adding it, and because you don't want it to unravel, and so you don't have to add it every time you wrap it, but just in certain areas where you think that it's needed. And here I just added an extra zip tie just for security, and these are orange zip ties. And again, I added it to the back, what's going to be the back of my carrot. And so you don't want any of those things showing, zip ties or glue or anything. And so I just kind of twist it, fold it, whatever you need to do to get it nice and tight and wrapped around. And I'm just going to continue to do that. For this project, I had several rolls of the burlap. I didn't know how much I was going to need. And so I actually just used a roll and about a half of another roll. So about a roll and a half of burlap. So if you have two, you should be good with that. If you're going to use any type of mesh, then you probably want to get the 6-inch wide mesh. You don't want to get anything wider because then you're really going to have to fold that. And so here, as you can see, I've already got it folded in half. I'm adding some glue, another zip tie, just to keep it secure. Add the glue where, where it's folded, and it's just all to keep it in place. You'll also need, I have some floral greenery bushes, some flowers, and a ribbon, and some ribbons so you can add a bow, which were the other items. And you can get those at Hobby Lobby, dollar store, anywhere. So this project can be very simple, easy, and with materials that are easy to find. And as you can see, I'm almost to the end of that roll of ribbon, of mesh or burlap. And I'm just going to kind of wrap that piece around, and then I'm going to zip tie that in place, just so that it doesn't move or go anywhere. So starting with the next roll, and of course you want to start it at the back of your design, so that none of those seams are showing. And this time I'm actually folding that burlap in half, so that it's not so wide and it doesn't leave large gaps. I'm going to add another zip tie to just secure it, and add some glue to hold all of those pieces down. Fold it in half and just keep wrapping till you get to the top. And like I said, I believe I used like a half of this second roll. And it doesn't have to look perfect. If you really need to have it all lining up perfectly, well then you just have to be very careful when you're wrapping. But it doesn't have to be. That's the great thing about these projects, is that, we already know that carrots aren't perfect anyways. And so, just twist it and fold it to make it stay, and so that it doesn't add too many loose creases or wrinkles. And of course, when you get to the top, it's a little bit more challenging, so you may need to add some more glue, extra glue to it so that it stays in place, and maybe a zip tie. And so you kind of have to hold it because it's going to want to slip. And so here I added a zip tie to keep it in place. And I use those little pliers to pull my zip ties. Sometimes grabbing them with your fingers and pulling them can be a little bit difficult. And so I have a little small set of pliers that I use to grab onto the zip tie and pull it tight. Anytime I'm making projects where I'm having to use zip ties, especially the small ones, I want to be able to get them on there really tight. I use those pliers so that I don't hurt my fingers. And so once you get to the top, you want to go ahead and cut your burlap, and then secure that last piece where it's not going to come loose. And again, adding your glue to the back side of the carrot. Don't add it on the front, because you can slightly see where glue was added. It'll come through. And so I'm just going to add again another zip tie and tie that on there tight. Make sure you push those edges of where you cut the zip tie, push them to the inside so that if you're selling this or if you're handling it, they can be sharp and you don't want to cut yourself with the zip tie. And I added several just to keep it all in place. I guess you could say I love to use zip ties. I do. I use a lot of zip ties in my projects. And so, so there it is. And of course, make sure you know which side is your front and which side is your back. And then next we're going to add the greenery on top. Now I have these 2 bushes of carrots, and I believe I just used 1. I wasn't sure how many I was going to use. These are little carrot flower bushes. I believe they came from my shop last Easter season, and I think I will be getting more and adding those. Once I do get them in, I'll add the link into the description if you're interested in buying any of these. They're from Regency. And then I have 2 greenery bushes that are from Hobby Lobby. And I will add the SKU number to those. And so what I decided to do was put the flower and carrot bush in the middle and the 2 other ones on the sides. And just open them up, spread them out, and you don't have to use these. You can use any other ones that you want, whatever you have on hand or whatever you can find at your local craft store. And that's the SKU number I believe I was trying to show you. Always get your florals when they're 50% off at Hobby Lobby. And you know they're 50% off every other week. And so I'm just arranging that bush, just making it, fluffing it out, spreading out the flowers and the carrots so that's all incorporated in and mixed in together. And once I get that done, I'm going to again another zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie those so that they're secure and they're staying in one place together. Again, spread it all out so that flowers are incorporated into the greenery so that it looks all like one bush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip it in the inside, place it how I want it, where I think it's going to look good. Spread out those flowers and that greenery bush, and I'm going to zip tie that. I'll show you here. As you can see, the frame there is where I'm going to be zip tying that bush to. So I'm going to push in the stem and add the zip tie, and then just securely, and if you need to use 2 zip ties so that it's secure, go ahead and use 2. We're going to make a bow, and the bow is going to go there, so you're not going to see any of that. You'll be able to cover it all up. I think I just needed 1. I don't think I needed to use 2. Always try and get those zip tie ends because they can be sharp. And once you have it tied, again, just reposition it and fluff out that greenery and those flowers so that it looks like it's actually part of that carrot. Oh, I did add a zip tie to the back. So just to kind of keep, you can get that the stems don't want to, it seems like they don't want to go where you want them to go, then just tie them down with a zip tie or a pipe cleaner, whatever you have. Floral wire will also work, and just tie them down and so that they're in the position that you want it. Okay. So I didn't use that other floral bush, so I used just 3. You could even just use flowers. I have 2 different ribbons here. One of them is a checked ribbon with some carrots on it, and I do not know where I got it from. It could have been Craft Outlet or the Wreath Shop or one of those places. And I'm just gonna make a simple hand bow. I do have a video on how to make bows by hand. If you want to check that out, I will add the link in the description to that video of how I make some simple bows by hand. And so this is a 2.5 inch ribbon, and I'm going to make 4 loops with that ribbon. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a 1.5 inch ribbon, this yellow ribbon. I believe I may still have some of this in my shop. I'm just going to do 2 loops. I did 4 loops. 4 loops. Do as many as you want. Add as many ribbons as you want. There's no rules. It's up to you. Do it how you like. I like to leave my tails a little long. And then I'm going to use a pipe cleaner. Because with the pipe cleaner, I'm going to actually tie that on with the pipe cleaner. So I secured the bow with a pipe cleaner and fluff up your loops, and then I went ahead and used the 2 ends of the pipe cleaner and put them through the burlap all the way through the back, and tied it around the back of the flowers, or actually the wire. As you can see, I put it through. And so once you tie it, you can cut off those, and then you can just cover that up so it doesn't show through. Then you want to, of course, fluff your bow, fluff up those loops, put them how you want them. And you could even add some flowers. You could add more flowers in there into your bow. Whatever you like. I'm going to dovetail my ends. You can leave the tails as long or as short as you want. I always kind of pull through them to give them a nice shape and curl on those tails. And I believe I used another pipe cleaner to put a hanger in back so that you are able to hang it. And so roll them up, curl them, make them curly however you want. I was trying to focus to try and give you a good look of the whole thing, but you'll see a picture. There's also a time-lapse video of this on my Facebook page, so be sure to go and check out my Facebook page and my Instagram. So I just put the pipe cleaner right through the burlap and a wire, and then I just made a loop to make a hanger so that you can hang it on your wall or on your door. And so guys, I really hope you liked this video. Thank you.